Welcome to Flipped Classroom. Our unit is probability and we are looking at theoretical probability. Our learning intention is we are learning about theoretical probability, and our success criteria is I am successful when I can define theoretical probability of events, calculate probabilities, and describe the chance of different events occurring. Now let's look at this circle. What are some of the ways that you could represent this circle? Now this circle could be a half, 50%, or 0.5. But we could also represent it as 2 over 4 or 3 over 6. We could represent it as 50 over 100 or even 5 over 10. So it is really important to be able to convert between different fractions and make it as simple as possible, as well as converting it to percentages and decimals for theoretical probability. So it is really important to have these skills. When a coin's tossed, there are two possible outcomes, head or tails. So we say that the sample set is a set of either heads or tails. Now, in a perfect world, we would say that there is a chance of 50% of getting heads and 50% getting tails. So we write this as the probability of heads is a half and the probability of tails is a half. Now we could represent that as a decimal number as well. We could say that the probability of heads is 0.5 and the probability of tails is also 0.5. Now with those two outcomes, the probabilities add up to 1. And if we do this for any type of event and we list all the outcomes, work out the probabilities and then add up the different probabilities, they should always come out to 1 because there are no other outcomes for that event. When we're trying to work out the probability of an event occurring, we will look at the favorable outcomes, the ones that we want, divided by the total number of outcomes that could occur when that event occurs. So when rolling a dice, our total number of outcomes is 6 because there are 6 sides on a dice, and depending on what we're looking for, the favorable outcomes may change. So let's try this in an example. So I'm going to roll a dice and I'm going to make note of the number that is showing on top. I want to work out the following events. So event A is that we roll the set of the numbers 1. Event B is we roll the set of odd numbers. And event C is we roll either 4 or 6. So let's have a look. I've got my thinking on the left-hand side and writing what I'm going to show my teacher on the right. So let's have a look. A only has one favorable outcome, and that's the number 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to write the probability of A equals 1 over 6 because there is one favorable outcome and 6 total outcomes that could occur when I roll that dice. Now you'll note how we write down the probability here. We write P for probability, then we open the brackets and we put which event we're looking at, which is A, on the inside of those brackets, and then we write equals and the fraction or the decimal that it equals. For B, we're going to be looking at 3 favorable outcomes because the odd numbers are 1, 3, and 5. So we do our working here. So we write the probability of B is 3 over 6. Now 3 over 6 can be simplified and that becomes the probability of B equals a half. And we show those workings that way our teacher can see what we are thinking when we're solving this equation. Now for C has 2 favorable outcomes because we're looking at 4 or 6 from that dice. So again, we write the probability of C equals 2 over 6. We've got the 2 favorable outcomes divided by the 6 total outcomes, and we simplify that down to 1/3. So we write the probability of C equals 1 over 3. So for our reflection today, I want you to think, where do we use probability in real life? As always, like the video and subscribe for more videos on maths.